Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Sunil Bhakre, CPCCU resource person and master trainer. Today we are going to discuss about one very important word that we hear every day in many more trainings, in many more situations, in many more counselings, or many more situations. What in the sessions or in the various types of lectures or various types of emotional talks or various counseling programs. That word is resilience. This resilience word is very new to us these days. Actually, it's not that new, but nowadays it has come into light. The reason is also same. In this COVID-19 pandemic situation, we all are hearing this word on a very constant uh, way. The reason is because it carries a typical meaning. Now, what is the meaning of this word resilience? Resilience is nothing but the ability to manage life's unexpected and inevitably challenges more easily, withstands adverse and bounce back from the difficulty level. Means suppose there is a kind of difficulty, there is a kind of problem, there is adversity, and we bounce back like a spring. We bounce back to the normal situation, and that is what is needed on a very um, large scale, on a very mass. It is needed these days, and therefore resilience word is carrying too much of importance, and that's why we hear this word in day-to-day life in many more situations. Now, being resilient doesn't mean that the people don't have experienced the stress or don't have the emotional upheaval or sufferings. They are also having the suffering. They are also having kind of experiences, stress, anxiety, or kind of depression, or a kind of burden, pressure, whatever we call it as. But resilient, the word starts with R. This word goes very parallel to so many other words starting with R, that may be resume, that may be return, that is reheal, that is return, that is revert. All these words are also similar like resilience. So resilience is most important because it gives people the strength that is needed to process the overcoming of hardship. Resilience is very important because that strength is needed in this kind of condition, this kind of situation. Now pandemic, that is COVID-19, has created havoc everywhere in all over the world, especially in India or in Maharashtra at least. It has really created a devastating situation, and people are knowingly unknowingly somewhere, maybe on the face or on the body or on the overview, that it may be seen, but in certain cases it is not seen. Somewhere in subconscious mind of every person, this is acting on a very large scale. This is functioning, this is working. Maybe many people are not showing, not trying to expose, not trying to show it, but somewhere this particular type of situation is creating a kind of anxiety, kind of stress, a kind of difficulty, a kind of anxiety in their mind, and they are under pressure, they are depressed, and they need kind of healing also. Now, there are kind of 5 skills to overcome this resilience. That all we are going to see now. Now, resilience is made up of main 5 pillars. The first pillar here is self-awareness. Second is mindfulness. Third is self-care. Fourth is positive relationship. Fifth is purpose. Now, by strengthening these people or by strengthening these pillars, people can overcome these kind of adversities, these difficulties, these problems, whatever are there before them, maybe in the form of psychological, emotional, or in the kind of physical, or whatever type of problems are there. And we in turn become more resilient in this situation, and we need to rely on all these things. Now, here first is self-awareness. We must be very much aware of ourselves. That is, self-awareness is required. Mindfulness is there. Fresh mind, mind without burden, mind without any kind of stress or a kind of depression, a kind of pressure. If it is there, that will cause a different type of effects on the mind, maybe on the at least on the subconscious mind. Self-care. We need to take self-care in this condition. We should be very careful about oneself and our family members, our neighbors, our relatives, and everybody. Next, the positive relations. During this time, we should develop the positive relations. Positive relationships are very important because that creates a positivity, that creates positive vibes, and these positive vibes are found to be very useful in overcoming this kind of situation. And there has to be some purpose. Now, resilience itself is a life skill. Now, these days we talk a lot about life skills, but resilience itself is a life skill. Now, resilience is nothing but it is a psychological strength to deal with the stress. How to deal with the stress? Everybody has a stress, different types of stress is there, but how to deal with this stress? Now, out of different life skills, resilience is also kind of life skill, and it is very much required these days, especially. The resilience is a kind of psychological strength, and where this is used to deal with the stress or setbacks. There are many more setbacks in our life. So, to overcome these setbacks, to overcome the stress, or to overcome the crisis, and it helps to come out of the hardship and controls our life, controls our emotions, controls our feelings. When life situations gets more and more filtered, then resilience is the only qualitative type of a life skill that is helping us to come out of this kind of situation. And most of us are going through the difficulties, the hardships are there. There are many problems nowadays, but coming out of these problems and keeping a kind of positive attitude, a positive vibe is also important. And that's the thing, that resilience is also life skill. Now, building positive beliefs in your abilities or self-esteem plays is an important thing in your body and important role in coping with the stress and recovering from the difficult events. There are difficult events, but to come out of these difficult events also, we need some kind of skills. Now, find a sense of purpose in your life. When such situations are there, we need to develop some kind of hobbies, some kind of things which we like, we have to do. Now, develop some kind of new hobbies or nurture the hobbies which we have. We have a special time for this. Develop a strong social network. There should be a strong network. Though we are having a social distancing, physical distancing, but social networking can be developed. We should be in contact with each other, share each other's feelings, share each other's difficulties, help each other, give a kind of moral, give a kind of spiritual, give a kind of emotional support to each other. Embrace the change. There is a change. Every day there is a change. We need to learn how to embrace the change, to become more resilient. Try to become more and more resilient every day. Accept the things you cannot change. There are certain things nowadays which we cannot change, but we can at least learn how to accept it. And in this situation, it is very important to be very optimistic. We need to remain very optimistic and nurture yourself, nurture your different views, ideas, or different hobbies, different types of things, innovative things that we can do. Now, how do we build our personal resilience? Now, we are all telling about all these, what is resilience or what is resilience, but how to build a personal resilience, that is also very important. Now, here, prioritize the relationship, prioritize the relationship, connecting the empathetic and understanding people. We need to connect with such people who are understanding, who will listen to you. See, if there is a problem with somebody, you at least should listen to that problem. 50% listening very carefully, listening very calmly, very patiently to that person almost finishes the problem 50%. 50% of the problem gets solved by only listening. So you should be a good listener. Have a listening skill to the person who is having the difficulties or having a problem, who is sharing the problem with you. And understanding the people and can remain, you are not alone, you are with somebody, somebody is there to help you, somebody is there with you. So all are there with you, you are in midst of all the difficulties, but we are there around the difficulties. Join a group. We need to join such a group. That a group will give positive attitude, positive outlook, positive vibes. Now take care of your own body. You need to take care of own body. Body in the sense not only physical, but the mental, the emotional, or the spiritual type of development has to take place. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness plays very important in this situation. So you need to practice mindfulness. Avoid negative outlets. There are number of negative outlets through various types of electronic media, print media, mouth publicities, and other havoc news are here. So avoid all these negative outlets. Help each other. At least through some social media, through some words, through your emotions, through your other things, also at least you can help them. Next is help others. In this situation, we need to help each other. We need to be very proactive and move towards your goal. Though there are hurdles, though there are in all four pillars of resilience. The resilience model have mainly four pillars, that is mental, social, physical, and spiritual. Balancing these four components helps strengthening your life, helps creating resilience, creating positivity, and mental stability. The ability to effectively cope up with all mental stresses and challenges is nothing but called as the resilience. So thank you very much for listening to this small short talk.